Yes, there are a few ways to do it. The easiest way is to increase the presence of the crosswalk. The next most difficult is to put in a pedestrian overpass. Another way would be to put in a pedestrian underpass, and lastly, you could put in an automotive underpass, pave over the top, and have a true plaza connecting the two. These are all options. Obviously, the last one is the nicest, but it's most expensive. It can only be done by integration with a remodeling of the Civic Center, probably concurrent with underground parking. But it is important that there be a better integration. The whole idea is to bring more people from the Civic Center rec activities to downtown, and so that they can feed off each other, and that 18-acre contiguous plot, which is frankly a beautiful thing, becomes more of something that is part of downtown.
This is a great question, one much discussed. There is no feasible way that I would ever agree to build a skyway over San Antonio for pedestrians to go over the traffic. I would not necessarily consider an underground passageway because I don't think that's practical for our community. The ideas that I personally jive with the best include the relocation of some city services to the downtown. If we're looking to rebuild some of our facilities, looking at some of the sites that the city owns in the downtown, I would personally support. But again, I think it's something we have to take into account with our priorities citywide. I believe that the potentially controversial discussions that may take place about a roundabout on San Antonio at Edith and Main Street are something that our community could go through and decide if that's appropriate. I don't know right now if that is the right way, but we've also heard ideas like directing State Street to connect over to the community center. But incorporating it in the downtown, I think, is the most practical.
Thank you. I also would like to look into a roundabout. I know it's been brought up in the past, and there's been some pushback because we're not quite sure how to envision it and whether it's actually feasible, but I think it's something that could be looked into, as well as more clearly marking the pedestrian markings. I think that there are times that just lighting it up is not enough, and maybe we could have some more distinct clarifications as to this is a pedestrian path.
First of all, I think we need the intention, and I'll go back to, I believe we need a specific plan which incorporates both the downtown and the community center, and in that plan we would look at what would bring the most cross traffic, whether or not bringing the theater forward up toward Main, and Edith might do that and might invite people to go to dinner and then the theater. Articulation of buildings toward the downtown and toward the activity centers, I think, is important. So it's, first of all, design of the upcoming center and how that faces toward the downtown. And then on a small practical matter, maybe a small shuttle that would operate back and forth, so that if I had dinner in town, maybe I could take a shuttle over to the theater, take it back so I wouldn't have to start up the car, move it over, find a parking place. I could enjoy it without moving the car.
I agree we need to have a plan that incorporates both the downtown and the Civic Center, but whatever we move, there's still going to be plenty on both sides, and therefore there needs to be a connection. I don't know that it's feasible cost-wise to do an underpass or to underpass the whole traffic, and the traffic on San Antonio, the car traffic is going to get worse and worse with all the building in Mountain View. So I think the only solution, I don't know why Jared absolutely excluded even the possibility of talking about a footbridge. I thought it would be a lovely idea. You could park on one side and walk over, and I don't see what's wrong with it. It's probably very economical and it would be delightful.